there was a time, it was probably one of the more painful stretches, watching Justin really face mental health challenges that he's talked openly about. And by that time, you guys were together. And I remember looking at you, and I want to say publicly, and I could get emotional, but I won't. In Jesus' name, I will not. Like I use the name of Jesus to not cry. You know, who does that? But I was taken aback. I was floored. I couldn't believe your strength. I couldn't believe your resolve. There were moments where none of us knew, including Justin, what was going on in his molecular structure, in his brain, in his body, because of his own unique journey and challenges. And there's a lot of relationships out there where maybe one person in the relationship is really going through it mentally and emotionally, and the other person can so easily feel helpless. But I never felt like from you, and I don't know how you did it, but I never felt like you threw your hands up.
One name that always comes up when discussing Diddy and his freak-offs is Justin Bieber. Numerous celebrities and friends of Justin have talked about seeing Justin battle for his life. Among them is Judah Smith, who recently discussed on a podcast with Justin and Hailey Bieber about witnessing Justin's challenging journey with his mental and physical health.
Why did you stop the tour in 2017, and what was the reason for that?
I was really tired emotionally, physically, and I was sick, and I didn't realize I was sick. So I had like Epstein-Barr, which is like, it's called mono. And then I have Lyme disease. So it was that, it was just, you know, the exhaustion of just being on tour. And then it was just everything compounded, I think, to be honest.
How did you feel when the tour came to an end?
I mean, it didn't really come to an end. I was supposed to do a bunch of stadiums, but, you know, once the American leg or the European leg or wherever I came from last was done, I was like, this is it for me. I mean, I pushed through, you know, the last month or two, and I couldn't believe I pushed through that. So when they were like, you know, we got to still do stadiums, I was like, this is not going to be good. I'm not going to be able to make it through that. And it's just, no, it won't work. And I'm someone who pushes until it's like, you know, until it's like the last straw. So I just couldn't do it.
You knew instinctively that something was going on with your physical
Yeah,
state.
I knew there was something not right because I was doing everything right on tour. I mean, I wasn't, you know, I was keeping to myself. I was keeping on as much of a structured schedule as I could. I was doing the ice bath every day. I was eating salmon twice a day. Like I was doing the right thing to try to take care of my body, and it was just like just felt depleted and felt shitty all the time. So I was like, you know, and then that took an emotional toll on me. So I was like, you know, I just didn't know what the hell was going on.
Not once, but several times, Justin himself has also spoken out indirectly about the awful things he faced when he was young. He has spoken about the mental and physical health challenges he had to endure, which were so serious that he had to pause in 2017.
And still learning how to trust people?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I think boundaries, to be honest, is like key, you know, understanding like there's people that play certain roles in my life and kind of just let them play that role and not give them access to certain parts of my life. And that's something you have to do, not only as for your own emotional well-being, but I think as a business leader as well, you know, and something I'm learning. I've made some mistakes over the past year or two, just Scooter's over there probably laughing. Just, I do I have a problem with trust, but then there's areas of like, I do trust people a little too much sometimes.
Bad judgments?
Sometimes. I'm just working through, just kind of trying to figure out all that sort of stuff.
People who take advantage? Do you feel like people have taken advantage of you in the past?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, people take advantage, of course. But it was hard for me being that young and being in the industry and not knowing where to turn, and everyone, you know, telling me they love me and, you know, just turn their back on you in a second.
He even mentioned people who had previously taken advantage of him because he had placed too much trust in them. We can all guess who he was referring to.
There was a time where I was sipping lean, I was popping pills, I was doing Molly, you know, shrooms, everything. And it was just an escape for me. I was just young, you know, like everybody in the industry and people in the world who experiment and do, you know, just normal growing up things. But my experience was in front of cameras and I had a different level of exposure and people and like, I had a lot of money and a lot of things. So then you have all these people around me just kind of hanging on, wanting stuff from me, knowing that like I was living this lifestyle that they also wanted to live, drinking, smoking.
When discussing his drug and alcohol use in a documentary series, Justin constantly disclosed having people around him that wanted stuff from him.
Actually, someone made reference to the fact that Diddy trying to get at Bieber the way he was trying to get at Bieber was looking a little predatory. And then Usher came in and discovered it and managed him and got custody of him and promised to look after him. And then he sent him to the diddler. Does that sound like a good guy?
It's horrible. It's horrible.
Does that sound like a good guy? Now that we know what Diddy's really like. What kind of fucking asshole do you gotta be to take another boy, another talented boy, and put him in your place so it ain't gotta be you no more? Because that's what pedophiles do. They get victims, and then once they get to a certain age and they get too old for them to enjoy them, they send them out to go get other young kids. And the simple fact that fucking Justin Bieber literally made a public statement and said, Usher asked me to do the Super Bowl with him and I turned it down.
To back up Justin's claims regarding Diddy, Usher, and the freak-off parties, Jaguar Wright has been spilling the beans on all of this. Even before Diddy's arrest, Jaguar has been outspoken about Diddy's scary crimes. She even reveals how young Justin was when the Usher brought him to Diddy's flavor camp.
So Blink Twice is the scenario is this is rich man, this rich dude that all the girls like. He take all the girls that win something or whatever on a trip to an island, to his house or whatever. Mm-hmm. And they go out there and they have fun every night. They get drunk, they have wild parties, they pop hallucinogens and all that shit, and they be gone. But I ain't gonna tell the whole story, but I know I'm gonna say one part is one of the girls was tied up in the end, right? And he was sitting there looking at her when she looked up. And he said, man, last year you did it, but this year I didn't even think you could pull it off. I said, this year? Man, they didn't even know they've been there for a couple years. Oh. They think they still been there for a couple of weeks and months.
It's because they so drugged up.
They so drugged up. You know what I'm saying? And from what I heard that the baby oil got some kind of shit in there where they pour it in your drink, that shit make you forget shit. I'm like, I'm sitting there like, all I seen was, even at the club party, it was just partying. It was like the biggest, the happiest, the greatest time you could ever have at a party. You know what I'm saying? This party that we go to. But then, like, I ain't gonna even lie, when I woke up, like, the next morning, like, cause we left like 2 or 3 o'clock, I woke up the next morning, it was motherfucker talking about, bro, I just left that bitch. It was like 8, 9 o'clock. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing at another nigga house? Oh, we had a brunch, nigga, like, but nigga, like, the brunch is like in the daytime, like, when it's light outside, like, what was you still doing there? Like, I wasn't even like thinking they were doing nothing like that. I was just like, what?
How much fun could you possibly be
having?
Yeah,
like, damn.
You gotta cut this shit off at some point.
That's even worse than the after hours.
Bro, I thought that when I left, like, at least like an hour later, everybody else was gonna be gone. Like, no, you know what I'm saying? Shit was still going.
Furthermore, Lil Scrappy, an American rapper, recently disclosed in an interview that he has been to Diddy's parties, and what he saw there was simply awful.
It's more deeper questions that I be wanting to know, like, why were you so infatuated with a child that wasn't yours? Were you grooming that little boy? I don't even want to start those conversations because that's not your child. You know what I'm saying? And for you to keep him that close, it's like you kept him that close because he might got your secrets because he's not your child. So if he's not your child and you that type of person with that type of character, you don't mind actually doing it to him when he finally reaches a certain age because he's not yours. And you know in your mind he's not yours. And now you keep him real close to you. You make sure he don't go to his daddy. Why? You make sure he's separated with him and you provide him with everything he wants. Why? I want to know what Justin Bieber, I want to know. Justin Bieber, look at his life change. His man life, that man is terrified of Puffy. I seen the video. I'm in the streets, dog. People know, fear, dog. You're like, what happened to your number? You like, oh, man, I lost it. Fear, man. You got to think of all the people, the white folks who've been at the parties. They scared. They don't roll in crowds with niggas and guns. When they get slapped in the mouth at a party for being too high, they shut up. You get what I'm saying? You got to think of all these people who've been terrified for years. Everybody. But see, people understand. I can say this because I've been saying it while he was out. I'm one of the few people been calling this nigga out for years. They ain't scared of who. I've been telling this nigga, where you at? I'm not scared of you. Not saying I'm bad or nothing, but I'm saying like, I got the right to speak. I'm not trying to kick him while he down or some shit. I've been looking in this motherfucking camera for the longest telling you I don't like you. I don't like nobody around you and I don't like what you did to me. I woke up one day, I was 40 years old, didn't have a home, didn't have nothing. I'm like, what the f happened to 20 years? 20 years where I couldn't do nothing because he brought me into a lifestyle.
This isn't it. As more people share their experiences at Diddy events, Freddie P, an ex-member of Diddy's band, also spoke out in a recent interview. He claimed that Justin fears Diddy because of what Diddy did to him. He also said that Diddy grabbed all of his money and left him without a home. He even claimed that he had been talking about Diddy being a nasty person, but no one listened to him.
People unearthing videos of Justin Bieber at Diddy parties. Now, Justin Bieber was obviously extremely young when he entered the industry, extremely innocent when he entered the industry, an industry that he did not quite understand as a boy who just knew how to sing and play the guitar and just did both of those things on YouTube. And then he was scooped up and suddenly he was a part of people like Diddy going after him and saying, hey man, why don't you pick up my phone calls? There's actually a video of that. Diddy and Justin Bieber looks to be like 15 years old and said, why aren't you picking up my phone calls? And he's like, oh, I know you were trying to contact me through people and I don't have your number. And the next thing we know, Justin is at Diddy's parties. And in this one video, it looks like whatever Justin is doing, and I'm not going to show it out of just respect for the fact that I truly believe that Justin Bieber is a victim. But whatever he is doing in this video with Trey Songz and Odell Beckham Jr. looks highly suspicious. I can show you a still from that video because I think the relevant part is Justin Bieber is not sober. He is clearly very heavily under the influence at this party. And if you remember that lawsuit that the producer Rodney dropped against Diddy, he said that unbeknownst to all of these people, they were being drugged at Diddy's parties, that they were pouring out the liquor bottles and replacing it with other drugs. He kept speaking about this pink drug, this mix, this cocktail of cocaine and MDMA, and that people that think they're just drinking vodka or just drinking water are actually all being drugged. And then once they're drugged, they do very vulnerable things. It has long been suspected that the person that people are now putting the dots together in Kim Porter's allegations that Diddy had under his thumb was Justin Bieber, and that he may have done some inappropriate things with him.
In addition, Candace Owens, another name we've been hearing about for a long time, has spoken out against him. She not only talked about Diddy, but also described the horrific things Diddy did to Justin, such as getting him involved with drugs and alcohol. If so many individuals are coming out now, and they have in the past, revealing what Diddy and his associates do at freak-offs and what they did to Justin, isn't clear proof